I watched her smile that night, a little too bright, a little too rehearsed, and I felt a chill crawl up my spine. It wasn't the usual nerves before the wedding. Something had shifted, something that smelled like betrayal. The divorce papers were already sitting on my desk, but I didn't touch them yet. I was waiting until the timing was perfect. I remember the first time I met her, coffee shop, a laugh that made the world stop for a moment. I believed in us. I believed in the forever she whispered while I held her hand in the cold. Every plan, every dream, every corner of my life had her etched into it. And now I saw her laughing in pictures with men I didn't know, men she swore she barely knew. The signs were subtle at first. Late-night texts she deleted, a sudden obsession with appearances, a new perfume she claimed was just a gift. Then a friend slipped, a name, a location, a drunken laugh. My stomach dropped. The truth hit harder than any punch. Her bachelorette party wasn't just wild, it was a deliberate, reckless crossing of a line I thought unbreakable. I didn't scream, I didn't confront her, I didn't allow myself the luxury of chaos. Anger, yes. Pain, yes. But I buried them deep. I let the shock settle into strategy. Every lawyer I consulted, every friend I quietly questioned, every social media breadcrumb I traced, it all built into a pattern. And patterns are the only things you can control when people betray you. The planning began in silence. I canceled flights under my name, left work early to scout financial movements. I learned everything about her accounts, her contacts, her schedule. Not for revenge that burns fast, but for revenge that leaves scars she can't disguise. I didn't tell anyone I was leaving. I vanished from her life the way a shadow fades at dusk, silent, unnoticed, unstoppable. Her world was perfectly constructed, or so she thought. Invitations were sent, guests arrived, unaware that I had disappeared, quietly leaving a letter. The truth always arrives. The shock was palpable. People whispered, questions rose. She called me, her voice trembling, panicked, but I didn't answer, not yet. I moved through my plan like a conductor directing a symphony of humiliation and justice. I contacted the men she had celebrated with, not to threaten, not to shame, but to extract testimony. Messages, photos, careless videos, they all became instruments in my crescendo. The day before the wedding, I had assembled everything, a dossier so precise, so revealing, that even the most skeptical couldn't deny it. The morning of her so-called perfect day, I returned. Calm, collected. My presence alone made the air heavy. She didn't recognize me at first. Then the color drained from her face as realization crept in. The people around her murmured, the whispers grew. I handed her the evidence, methodical, unflinching. Faces froze, conversations stopped. The wedding planner paled, guests shifted uncomfortably. "Did you think I wouldn't find out?" I said, voice low, steady, cold. She couldn't speak. She could only flinch as I outlined every betrayal, every lie, every deliberate moment of disregard. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I let her guilt fill the room like smoke. It was intoxicating. Her father tried to intervene. I didn't flinch. Her friends tried to comfort her. They didn't know what they were witnessing, a meticulous dismantling of a life built on deception. Every step I had taken, every choice, every silent calculation, it culminated in this moment of clarity. Her empire of lies collapsed quietly, beautifully. I walked away then, not in haste, but in controlled triumph. I didn't gloat, I didn't celebrate, I just left. Outside, the sun hit the streets like a spotlight, and I realized how heavy the burden of silence had been, how sweet the relief of justice finally served. I still think about the laughter that had once meant the world to me, now hollow, echoing in memories. But that's not sorrow, that's closure. The lesson I carved into my life is clear. Control your rage, wait for precision, and let karma wear the face of your patience. I didn't need to ruin her with fire or fury. I ruined her with truth, with timing, with intelligence. And in the silence that followed, the quiet that only comes after storms, I felt an unexpected peace. The kind of peace that comes when the betrayal has been met not with chaos, but with mastery. The last thing I said to her, just before leaving, was simple. Everyone thinks I vanished because I was weak. They were wrong. I walked away, and for the first time in months, I smiled. Because in that smile was a calculated victory, a lesson in patience, and the quiet satisfaction of knowing that justice, true, silent, inescapable justice, had been mine.